A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Friday, July 19th. The news today is brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. Controversy continues to swirl in the aftermath of the death of a 2-year-old boy in foster care this week after he was left inside a car for several hours in Sullivan County in the stifling heat. The boy has now been identified by family members as Antonio Suarez Ware. His aunt, Shante Ware, alleges the boy and his brother, 3-year-old Carlos Suarez Ware, who was in the care of the same foster family, may have been the victims of other incidents of neglect. Another aunt, Georgette Howard, had concerns about the boys' welfare and was trying to gain custody of them through Sullivan County's Office of Child Protective Services since May. Antonio Suarez Ware suffered a cardiac arrest on Tuesday while inside a vehicle for several hours outside the Sleepy Hollow Apartments on Terry Lane in Monticello. The state announced yesterday that it's going to shut down Sullivan Correctional Facility in Woodburn, with the process beginning immediately, with the prison to officially close on November 6th. In a memo to Sullivan Correctional employees obtained by Mid-Hudson News, Daniel Marticello III, Commissioner of Corrections and Community Supervision, said the decision to close the facility as well as Great Meadow was a difficult one. The prison system will work with current employees to transfer into available funded vacant positions in the department or with another state agency. The State Public Service Commission yesterday approved a new electric and gas rate plan for Central Hudson for the period of July 1st of this year through June 30th of next year. The utility's initial filing sought $139.5 million electric revenue increase and a $41.5 million gas revenue increase. Instead, the Commission approved an electric delivery revenue increase of $58 million, a 5.5% increase in total revenue, and a gas delivery revenue of $21.2 million in an increase, a 7.3% increase in total revenues. Orange County Senator James Skoufis says as the county residents face an ongoing cost of living crisis, the rate increase approved by the PSC is unacceptable. The police department in the city of Newburgh has had a chief and commissioner in the last 2 years, but with the recent resignation of Commissioner Jose Guimarães, the city's been reassessing the need for both positions. During a discussion at Thursday night's city council meeting, 5 of the 7 lawmakers indicated it was not necessary to fill the commissioner's slot now. Councilman Robert Sklar said a commissioner is not necessary in Newburgh.
For a police force this size, for a community, a small urban community such as ours, the leadership of the chief is sufficient for our needs.
But Councilman Omari Shakur, a frequent critic of the department over the years, believes that role should be filled.
We had a lot of deaths, and so every city, right, doesn't need a commissioner, but cities with populations of large minorities and history of police deaths, they need a commissioner.
Shakur said a commissioner would serve as a safety valve for the community. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
If you're planning to conduct business at the Social Security Administration office in the city of Newburgh, surprise, it's closed. It was shut down on Thursday afternoon and will be moving to 85 Crystal Run Road in the town of Wallkill. There was no public announcement of the move some 25 miles from the former location at 3 Washington Center in Newburgh. The office staff can be reached by telephone at 866-504-4801. The Orange County Legislature's Rules Committee has approved a draft map of new legislative districts that will be sent to the public for comment. This week's meeting followed a contentious committee session that took place in June, where members of the committee walked out, resulting in the body having an insufficient number of members for a quorum. That meeting had to be abruptly closed. The single draft map, which was approved by a 5-2 vote, will head to the public for comment. After that, legislators will consider a final map that will be used in the upcoming November 2025 election. Congressman Marcus Molinaro, the Republican House member representing the 19th District of New York, joined the GOP delegates at the National Convention. Molinaro says that he is a Republican but does not blindly support all GOP policies.
I call balls and strikes, and so I want somebody to represent and to fight for the communities I serve in upstate New York. And if the policies and some of the brashness delivers more jobs to upstate New York, as happened during the first half of his administration, I want that. If some of that produces a secure border, which by every measure was more secure than the 11 million individuals that President Biden let through, then I think we want that.
Former President Donald Trump last night formally accepted his party's nomination to run for president in November. A man who hired another person to kill his neighbor in the town of Wallkill was sentenced in Orange County Court on Thursday to life in prison without parole. District Attorney David Hoovler said 25-year-old Enoch Lowe of Wallkill hired 24-year-old DeMonte Stansbury of Middletown, who killed his 53-year-old neighbor, Jeffrey Harris, on October 30th, 2022.
He hired an individual, Dante Stansbury, to do the killing. Mr. Lowe went to trial. The case was tried by Chief Assistant DA Chris Borick, and he was found guilty of murder in the first-degree murder for hire earlier this year.
Lowe, who had a long-standing animosity toward Harris, promised Stansbury $15,000 to kill his neighbor. 3 people were shot at 31 City Terrace in the city of Newburgh, and police are investigating. The incident occurred just before 7 p.m. on Tuesday. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today is brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.